All I know is that I'm you, you're you. You're you.
All right, guys, so we just left the conference here after being in there for quite a bit, getting some good insights into different quantum companies. The number one thing that I uncovered by being here is that I am not educated enough about quantum math. There's a ton of math to know about quantum states, about how fidelity isn't everything. And that's a lot of what people look for is fidelity, when really one of the biggest things to look for is the application of quantum states, the qubits. For example, I was seeing that based on if we're going to use quantum for usage in our financial application, we would want to set something up that simply allowed us to have one qubit that is NVIDIA, one qubit that is, let's say, semiconductors, and then basically run all of the charts and see side by side how they are correlated together. So they both have the same state, maybe, that they're both stock and they both move. But then how we use that data is to see if they're correlated in any way, or running very, very complex algorithms that you couldn't run on GPUs get to maybe even predict where things would go based on how quantum computation comes out from there. So overall, it's definitely been a top-notch place to get some insights. Got to speak with IonQ for a little bit, which was great. We saw a few top quantum companies here that have some good insights for us to bring back home and open up the drawing board and potentially either apply them in our own business or be able to at least get more insights into which companies are leading the way. And while that was cool, the only thing that was a little bit off was just my overall understanding of all of the math, because some of the computations and the math problems that they brought up were absolutely insane. What I like about the quantum conference here is that they were very honest about where they were. They say, we're this far away, it's very slow, we're still building this out, we're still building that out. And because they were honest about where they're at, felt like a great conference, very much of integrity. There's been some other conferences where I've gone to where it's very much marketing and all about the marketing side of how it's going to be huge versus the actual science. And so far today, we didn't see any impacts over the last few days as a result of this conference. While there was a lot of newspaper articles I was able to grab and see that there was a lot of coverage from the local news people, there was still not any major coverage or major announcements that were made at this conference, despite some major quantum players being there. When it comes to Rigetti, we just kind of saw them go from left to right. When it comes to IBM or Microsoft that were there for this conference, we just saw their stock go kind of left to right, if not dip a little bit. So there wasn't anything particularly that was catalytic from this event that would really surge them up. So why did we go? Really important thing I wanted to learn about was not just, obviously I'm curious to get insights for our investing because we have long-term positions in many of these quantum computing companies. But really one of the main reasons too is because of building out tools for you to make quantum computers be applicable. If you're learning about certain, let's say, tools or different technologies, and you can invest in them, that's great. But the number one way to really get the most of the investment or realize their real world value is to do exactly that. See how you can use them personally. It's kind of like a market validator. And I was struggling a little bit to find some of the real world applications. I did find some good examples that we might find useful, but nothing super concrete for how we can implement it for tools. I love to cover it, and there's definitely a lot of reasons why quantum looks great in the long term, and you could kind of see the narrative around a lot of these companies was this is where we're going, and this is going to be really amazing for what we're going to accomplish when we have more focus on efficiency, and as these quantum computers become more and more accurate and fault tolerant and and they continue to develop their error correction and having real world problems that they bring into the quantum computers. I mean, it was a really exciting event, and seeing some of the direction of quantum really indicated that we are in a golden age of this new technology. And in that, I'm saying, okay, how can we, plug this in? For example, AI is a really big deal. So we personally have our tool here that we could search a company like IONQ and get some analysis. And if I wanted to search any of these companies while it's searching up, I could show you. We have an AI tool where we're using the best companies' AI models. That's, every new company's coming out with a new AI model, from Google with Gemini to Claude to Meta and DeepSeek. Right now we have OpenAI and Grok. And we're taking those models and bringing it to investors to streamline their analysis to get faster analysis that dives in for you. And so we could see some of the analysis coming out from projections over the next year, and actually projecting this quantum company IonQ to go up about 12.5%, according to OpenAI. And we're streamlining a lot of things by doing that. We also can do Grok. Can go ahead and refresh with Grok as it is loading right now, and doing a Grok analysis. And so we're also working on you getting the tools. We're working on getting you the tools to, for example, get the best models from Grok for projections of different companies. Grok is more bullish, as you can see on IonQ, actually indicating that it'll be up 20% over the next year. And so Grok seems to be more bullish, and Grok uses XAI and some other features. And so I want to bring quantum computing to the forefront of technology for investors to be able to use as well, because I think that's going to be really key for the growth of quantum, is to not only invest in the companies, but also have that alignment of, we didn't just go to this conference only to learn quantum, and we don't go to space conferences only to learn about space stocks. We also go because we would love to be involved in that technology. We'd love to use that technology. If we ever launch a satellite, that would be great. There's certain things that we do that are kind of big outlooks, I guess. Robotics. I mean, if we had a robot of some sort, I think that would be great. There are certain things that we learn from quantum other than just the stock pricing. But what we do find with IonQ, and what we found with conversations around Rigetti and IBM and Google's quantum, is that they are investing more money into this, and they are continually developing their quantum, and they're looking to rapidly scale out a lot of their quantum tech, especially Microsoft, very much in the conversation with quantum, with their Majorana chip. There was some conversation about the Willow chip, and how the goal is for these companies to develop chips that can be usable with some of the leading quantum computers that are being developed by other smaller companies, which I thought was really interesting. So there's a community there, and there's also a movement happening that these companies, while they're in the early stages, in the long term, I think 5-10 years from now, we're going to look back and say, wow, the fact that we were able to see these companies at this time is pretty amazing, because there's a lot of potential. But at the same time, they're so early that there's also a lot of people that totally disregard a lot of quantum at this time, which is totally fine. To all their power, maybe it's better they look for other AI stocks. There's a lot of great plays in other industries, like data centers and space tech or robotics or defense or drone tech or what have you, that people are focusing on, and that's totally fine. But I'll continue to cover the quantum stocks because of the technology disruption potential that we see them starting to build out right now, and large companies not taking it lightly. Nvidia's got their quantum, Microsoft has their quantum, IBM has quantum, Google's building their quantum, and there's a reason why these companies are doing it. And maybe the press isn't very excited about these things, but I think it's important for us to realize that just because the press isn't talking about them, let's watch what the companies do, not always what's being said about the tech. And that would be something that could give us an edge, can give us some alpha. And that's really what's allowed us to get in here and stay in the pocket, you could say, finding some of these companies early. And whether it's Rigetti at $1 a share that we were able to identify back in October, or it's, IONQ or what have you, it really does come down to, seeing the value before other people. And it's okay if people don't believe in quantum, say it's super far away. I've heard a lot of people, they comment and they say, Will, why do you cover these stocks? They're just so far away. It doesn't make sense to cover them. And I would love to know that the things that we make videos about now and bring value to you are beneficial for you. How many of you guys would rather know with certainty that you could be in good investments for 10, 15 years than be kind of confident or not confident at all in the next week, or the next few months? I think it's almost always going to be better to really have a good foundation of understanding of these companies and what they're actually doing, rather than just jumping in later after everything's kind of moved into a massive progression, which we most likely will see. A lot of math, a lot of things I could go over in depth, maybe in an iPad video when I get back home. I don't have my iPad, where we could go into some of the technology that they were coming out with that would be something you'd probably want more explanation. It'd take not just a very, very high level overview, but us to simply sit down and say, here's the math, here's how it looks, and this is what they're building. That's for another video because it's pretty complicated. But simply, I like the long-term investments for a lot of these companies. In the short-term investments right now have volatility, and it's important to monitor them during these crucial stages as they're getting their market caps into a couple $1 billion right now. Now, we were just trading Big Bear AI this morning. We see it sell down a little bit after hours. We see it above maybe that's 475 range. Currently, it's holding at 483, and I think we're pretty close to our entry right now. We're just kind of watching and seeing a trade we got going with Big Bear. We also have some other trades going. We had Tesla that really had a nice run up this morning, and Tesla stock has been this longer term trade we've been in since down here around 297, and it's been slowly making its way up to our take profit here around 368. So that's been a nice shorter term investment we've been making. And friendly reminder, if you guys want to join our daily live sessions, get access to the targets for the week, get access to the community, along with every morning at Market Open, we go live. Stockmate, we have a awesome new offer that you should simply take a look at in the second link below for Stockmates. Stockmate is focused on getting you the best insights in AI, quantum, nuclear, space tech, as well as just tech in general, and get you into a good understanding of those technologies in this day and age. I believe those are the companies to be watching right now. So if you believe that too, and you want a free t-shirt sent over to you, I would encourage you to have a look at the second link below. Appreciate you all. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing. Let me know your comments on quantum, and I'll see you in the next video.